There's an unfortunate reality in relationships that most people don't recognize. And it's the fact that they find themselves giving and giving in to their partners, only to feel drained and unappreciated. If that sounds familiar, well, you're not alone. And in this video, we will reveal the top 8 signs that you're being used instead of loved. It's important to know the difference between being loved and being used in a relationship, as it can save you from heartache and disappointment. As you can expect, being loved is a beautiful feeling. It is a mutual exchange of affection, support, and understanding. On the other hand, being used in a relationship means that your partner sees you as nothing more than a tool. They may pretend to care about you, but in reality, they are only interested in what you can do. Unfortunately, many people are none the wiser and continue to be used by their partners. Or worse, they tolerate it because they're so blindsided by their emotions, and they don't realize that they deserve so much more. So, if you've been feeling like something is off in your relationship, then keep watching, because this video might help you get the clarity you need. Without further ado, here are the top 8 signs that you're being used instead of loved. Number 1. Your partner has unrealistic expectations of you and the relationship. Now, we all have basic expectations from our partners, right? Like, we expect them to do certain household chores and have calm discussions with us. These are totally reasonable and even helpful. But problems arise when these expectations get too high. It can even feel like they're expecting you to have magical powers so you can meet every little whim they have. What's worse, nothing you do to meet those expectations ever seems good enough for your partner, and in turn, they begin feeling resentful towards you. This just shows they might have a skewed view of others, especially you since you're their romantic partner. They may also have a distorted view of reality and their own part in the relationship. The famous playwright William Shakespeare once said, "Expectation is the root of all heartache, and it will do you good to heed his words." You're human, not a superhero. So, if you constantly feel like you're failing to meet your partner's expectations, it might be a sign that they're using you instead of loving you for who you are. Number 2. They believe the world, including you, owes them. You can't expect to get something for nothing, right? But that's exactly the belief of the people out there who have no problem using others to get what they want. So, they're the ones always complaining about not getting the recognition, privileges, or rewards they think they deserve, even though they haven't earned them. If you're with someone like that, they probably think relationships work the same way. By this, we mean that they expect you to love them and meet their every need just because you're with them, but you won't see them put in any effort to reciprocate. They believe that they're granting you the privilege of their presence, so it's just right for you to do everything for them in return. But remember, no one is entitled to anyone else's time, energy, or affection. Loving relationships are a two-way street where both partners give and take equally. Number 3. They act differently when you're alone. Your circle thinks this person is perfect for you because they treat you so well in front of others. What they don't see is that once you're behind closed doors, this perfect partner turns into a monster. Someone who's never pleased with you, rude, and thinks you're way beneath them. It's like living with Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, right? The harsh truth is that they're using you to boost their self-esteem and public image, which is why they're treating you like a prop when others are around. This kind of behavior is not only manipulative and hurtful, but also a major red flag that your partner may be using you for their own gain. Number 4. They're not interested in you. Do conversations with them feel like you're talking to a rock? Maybe you told them you were hungry, for instance, and instead of being concerned, they just nodded without saying anything and doing something about it, leaving you to eat alone. If it seems like they don't know the real you and aren't interested in learning more, or they act like a toy that occasionally says yes or no, that's definitely not love. Someone who loves you will want to know everything about you and genuinely enjoy spending time with you. They won't just use you as a convenient companion when they feel like it. And there's more. If your partner suddenly stops caring about the simple, everyday things involving you, that's another sign of disinterest. And it may be time to ask yourself this question: am I really being loved? Or am I just another person whom they labeled as a partner, but they don't see me as such? By the way, make sure to subscribe if you've learned something new today. Number 5. It feels like you're in a one-sided relationship. Every relationship has its own unique dynamics, so the give and take is rarely a perfect 50-50 split. It's almost never that neat. But at its core, a healthy relationship involves both parties giving and taking. So if it feels like you're doing all the work while your partner just goes along without pitching in, it's not really a romantic relationship. It's more like a master-servant setup. Keep an eye on imbalances and goals, too. If your partner is affectionate but gets disinterested or annoyed when you talk about the future with them, take note. Number 6. It's challenging to have hard conversations with them. Can you talk about anything with your partner? Or does your every comment make them defensive? Like, if you share your frustration about the relationship and they brush off your feelings, maybe even hint you're the problem or too sensitive, what they really want to tell you is, I don't want to take responsibility for anything here. It just means they're pinning their bad behavior on you so they don't have to take responsibility and grow up. A person who loves you will own up to their faults and work on them with you. They won't just deflect blame onto you and make you feel guilty for having valid emotions. Number 7. They don't respect your boundaries. Has your partner crossed a line you've clearly set over and over? Maybe you shrug it off once or twice because they said, "Hey, just try this. You'll have fun." Or, "It's a joke. Why are you so sensitive?" It's even worse when you've told them multiple times something like, "I tried it and I didn't like it, and I don't find it funny." Yet they keep ignoring you. It means they're pushing their wants over your feelings. And it's a typical scenario for people who are not afraid to use others to get what they want. Silence can often be mistaken for agreement, so it's important to speak up about your concerns. But if you do, and they come back with comments like, "Why are you making a big deal out of this? Just do it." Or, "You don't really love me," it means they're treating you more like an object they can control than a person. Number 8. The relationship feels stagnant. Relationships are meant to grow and change. Sure, you might find a comfortable rhythm, but there should always be sparks of joy and moments of newness in your time together. But if your relationship isn't growing or feels stuck, it may be time to examine your relationship. Like, if you've been living together for years, talked about marriage early on, and still don't get proposed to by your partner on your 10th anniversary, it's definitely time for a serious chat. And if you liked this video, then check out these related videos to see more. And make sure to like this video to let the algorithm know you'd like to see more videos like these.